Good evening, AAA students. Hope you all are doing well. So, today we are going to discuss the past paper of December 2022. This is day 2, as we have covered day 1 of December 22. Question number 1, Mercurio Company yesterday. If you have not watched that past paper video of Mercurio Company, then go to the ACCA PassPoint channel, and in that channel you will get a playlist of topic wise past paper. Under that playlist, I have uploaded the video of Mercurio Company December 2022 question number 1. Now we are going to solve question number 2, KoBold Company. In this question, we have to solve part A about the matters to be considered. If you watch my acceptance matters to be considered lecture of block 2, then you will get the idea. If you have not watched that lecture, don't worry, I will give a link of that video on my YouTube video. Okay, this is question number 2, KoBold Company, December 2022, in which there are two requirements. Let me open the requirement tab. Evaluate the matters to be considered by Gnome and company before accepting KoBold Company as a client, and the engagement to review and report on the capital expenditure forecast. Part B, assuming Gnome and company accepts the engagement, means acceptance is done. Recommend the examination audit procedures to be performed in respect of KoBold Company's capital expenditure forecast. If you watched yesterday lecture of Mercurio Company question number 1, in which the examiner also asked about the audit procedures for the 7 marks under part D. Now in the question 2, examiner again asking for the procedures. So now you can understand the importance, the significance of audit procedures. Again, in question 2 and question 3, there are 5 professional marks, whereas in the question 1, there are 10 professional marks. Professional marks will be awarded for the demonstration of skills in analysis and evaluation, professional skepticism and judgment, and commercial acumen in your answer. Means if you cover all these aspects, then you will get 5 marks. We all know 1 mark is also important in order to pass AAA exam. Let's read the question. Make sure you have opened your CB platform or you have downloaded this question, whichever you feel better for your better understanding. It is 1st July 2005. You are a manager in Gnome and Company, a firm of chartered certified accountant which offers a range of services to audit and non-audit clients. Your firm has been asked to consider a potential engagement, which is to review and provide an assurance report on a capital expenditure forecast. Forecast means, if you watch my lecture on block 4, review of prospective financial statement, then you will have a better or firm understanding about the forecast and projections. Whenever there is a word forecast, estimate, projections, it means it involves estimate. And whenever estimates involved, there is a risk of manipulation. So we have to critically evaluate this capital expenditure forecast, whether the cash flows used by the management and the assumptions based on that cash flows are accurate or reliable, means they are optimistic or non-optimistic. For KoBold Company, the company does not wish to engage its audit provider to perform this engagement, and KoBold Company is not currently a client of your firm. It means previously KoBold Company was audited by another audit firm, but they are not going to use their auditor for this service. It increases the risk. It increases our professional skepticism as why KoBold Company is not going to use their previous or existing auditor, and why they are appointing us. There is a possibility that they don't want to present the bad image of their previous or existing auditor, and if there is anything happened, then it will affect our professional liability, so we have to be skeptical. Also, KoBold Company is not currently a client of our firm. The following exhibit available on the left-hand side of the screen provides information relevant to the question. Capital expenditure forecast. A capital expenditure forecast for the 24 months beginning 1st September 2005, prepared by KoBold Company's financial controller. We also have to evaluate the competence capabilities of the financial controller, as forecast is prepared by the financial controller. Okay, let's read the exhibit 1. There is only one exhibit. From exhibit 1, we will have to answer two parts: matters to be considered and procedures. Let's read. The forecast and associated assurance report are being prepared at the request of the company's bankers in support of an application for a loan to finance the construction of a new distribution center on land currently owned by the company. It means company has a land and they want to construct a new distribution center, new market, new mall, whatever it is. And for that, they have to obtain a loan from the bank, from the financial institution. And in order to secure a loan, bank or the financial institution demand a projected forecast. Now, the forecast has been prepared by the financial controller of KoBold Company, who has recently been promoted into the role. Means this is the new role or the new target which financial controller has done just for this period. It means previously it might not have such experience. So we have to highlight this line. This is the first capital expenditure forecast the new financial controller has prepared. Also, it is mentioned in the question that this is the first forecast that the financial controller has prepared. However, he has previously been involved in preparing annual budgets and cash flow projections. Projections and forecast both are different. You have to watch my lecture on review of prospective financial information. That lecture link I will upload on YouTube. You will, once you will watch this video, then you will get a link of review of prospective financial information lecture on your left side. Okay, so we have to highlight this thing as well. Projections for KoBold Company. The forecast has been reviewed by the finance director and approved. This is a good thing that the forecast has been reviewed by the director. But again, we have to critically evaluate the competence capabilities of the financial controller, because financial controller is just promoted and this is the first cash flow forecast, sorry, capital expenditure forecast that financial controller prepared. Now, the assurance report needs to be completed as soon as possible. Whenever there is a time constraint, we have to be skeptical. There is a possibility that most of the figures or estimates are not correctly used. Also, it can result in an intimidation threat as it put pressure. Because KoBold Company has entered into a contract to commence building work in October 2005 and is reliant on the bank finance to make the agreed payments. It is possible to make the first payment to the builders from the company's existing overdraft facility. They also have an existing overdraft facility, OD. However, this facility is due for renewal in December 2005. Means they will renew it in December 2005. Let's read the capital expenditure forecast 24 months beginning 1st September 2005. 12 months to X6, 12 months to August 7. Legal fees $7,000. Architect and surveyor fees 15. Site preparation and tree removal 28. Structural building work 84. And in next year it's 48. Interior fittings and refurbishment none in 2006, 35 in 2007. We have to check whether these costs are become part of capital expenditure, means they are a revenue nature or a capital nature. If they are a revenue nature, then they would be expense out. If they are a capital nature, then they should be capitalized. Now, note number 1. The relevant regulatory authority has issued preliminary approval for the construction of the planned distribution center, means they have the permission. subject to receiving updated structural calculations relating to the building materials meeting required regulation. For the material, they have to meet a specific regulations. Figures are based upon quotations from local contractors. Who are those local contractors? Whether they are dealing with KoBold company previously or they are a new contractors. With agreed upon start dates, assuming that the building work will commence in October 2000 payments to the contractors will be made at agreed completion stages of the project. So now we are done with the question. Keep in mind, you should open this question on your CBE platform or you should download it, whichever is better for you, because it's not possible for me to open down both the windows in one lecture. When I move to the answer, of course, I can't open this slide there. So be attentive. Now we are moving to the answer slide. Okay. This is KoBold Company December 22, day 2, past paper of December 22. As day 1, we discussed and solved Mercurio Company, which is a 50-mark question. Very, very important for your exam. If you want to pass AAA, then question 1, even though all the questions are important, but question 1 covers 50% of your exam. Okay, question number 2 covers 25 marks. 5 marks are professional, whereas the 20 marks for the answer. Part A, for the matters to be considered, block 2, YouTube playlist ACCA PassPoint, in which you will get the matters to be considered lecture, acceptance and continuance of new client or existing client. Part B, for the ethical issues or from the block 4. In this case, the question is mixed with the block 4. Block 2 and block 4 mix up. YouTube playlist ACCA PassPoint review on prospective financial information. I will attach the link on the left hand side. Give headings to each paragraph for securing professional marks. Now, in this question, the professional marks contained will be awarded for the demonstration of skills in analysis and evaluation, professional skepticism and judgment, and commercial acumen in your answer. So, what is analysis and evaluation? Woven through both sections. Contextualize everything, use scenario details versus financial, ethical, regulatory issues, if any. Investigate, locate key facts, calculate materiality, if any, perform analytical procedures, if any. Evaluate, appraise impacts and trade-offs, implications of not adjusting a misstatement. Draw conclusions and link analysis to actions, recommendations, flag gaps, highlight missing data, and suggest further audit procedures or information needed, which we have to do in this case. Part B. Professional skepticism and judgment. Question and challenge assumptions. In this case, we have to challenge or questions the management assumptions, estimate data reliability from client and scenario. Apply spectrum of risk, identify, prioritize, and justify highest ROMM. This is not relevant in this case as it contained the question number 1. Reflect on sufficiency of evidence, basis of provisions, amortization policies, justify priority ranking in conclusions. Show professional judgment, commercial acumen, understand client context, business model, sector, external environmental factors, identify business risk, market, regulatory, going concern, expansion pressures. Okay, let's move to the answer of question number 2, December 2022, KoBold Company. Again, I am showing you the question and requirement. The requirement is evaluate the matters to be considered by Gnome Company before accepting KoBold Company as a client and the engagement to review and report on the capital expenditure. We are at the planning stage because the question is about the matters to be considered before accepting, means we have not accepted this client, as we are at the planning stage. You can also get the idea from this date. It is 1st July. You are a manager in Gnome Company, a firm of CCA, which offers a range of services to audit and non-audit clients. Let's solve the question. G and company should consider the following matters before accepting the engagement of KoBold Company. First, we have to evaluate or check the KoBold company's integrity. G and company should evaluate the integrity of KoBold company before accepting the engagement. As KoBold company is a new audit client, G and company does not have prior knowledge of the KoBold company. Yes, this is a factual information. G and company should perform the procedures skeptically. Why skeptically? To obtain an understanding of the KoBold company, because we have not any information of the KoBold company. That's why professional skepticism should be high. Directors, manager means KoBold company along with their directors, managers, employee, whatever they are. Directors, managers, integrity, and whether any negative claim or publicity about the KoBold company means whether they have done any wrongdoing in the past. Matter number two, Gnome and company competence. G and company is a certified chartered accountant firm that offers assurance and non-assurance services to clients. I have picked this line from the here. I have picked this point from here. Okay. So G and company is competent to offer capital expenditure forecast. Means we are competent as we offer assurance and non-assurance services. So it means we are competent. But services to the KoBold company as they already offer non-assurance services. So prospective financial information services can be offered by Genome and company. Okay. Matter number three, communication with previous auditor. As in this case, we have a previous auditor, so we have to communicate. But after obtaining confirmation with the client, if client give permission, then we can communicate. Otherwise, we should withdraw from the engagement. Okay. G and company should communicate with the previous auditor of the KoBold company after obtaining permission from the KoBold company to obtain an understanding of the KoBold company. Also, G and company critically evaluates why KoBold company. This is very important line. Also, G and company critically evaluates why KoBold company does not continue with its previous or predecessor auditor for the review engagement. As we all know, this is a review engagement. Okay, as they have an auditor, we are just appointed for the capital expenditure forecast. And now Genome and company should discuss with the previous auditor to confirm the reason for not continuing with KoBold company, even though the previous auditor has in-depth knowledge of KoBold company business and its capital expenditure. Means their accounting and business knowledge previous auditor have. There might be a possibility that KoBold company wants to appoint a new auditor so that KoBold company can conceal, means hide, or manipulate the figures as they are seeking finance for the construction of a new distribution center. It means they are hiring a new team so that they can manipulate or conceal the figures from G and company. Why? Because they are seeking a finance. So for that, they have to present a best view. Means they will manipulate or massaging the figures. As the new auditor does not have in-depth knowledge of KoBold company, therefore Genome and company should deal skeptically as it can increase its professional liability in case of any negligence. Matter number four, reliance on bank. KoBold company is reliant on the bank finance to make the agreed payments for the construction of its distribution center. G and company should carefully deal with the forecast and associated assurance reports as prepared at the request of KoBold company. Bankers in support of an application for a loan. However, any error or miscompliance can increase the professional liability of G and company and which can result in heavy fines and penalties to G and company. New financial controller. Even though the financial controller has previously involved in preparing annual budgets and cash flow projections for KoBold company, but this is the first capital expenditure forecast the new financial controller has prepared for KoBold company. I have copy paste this line from the exhibit 1 para 2. To secure a loan from the bank, G and company should carefully review the forecast. It's not a firecast, it's a forecast. Even though it has been revised by the finance director or approved, as the forecast involves subjectivity and there is a high risk of management biasness, means manipulation. As for the construction, management can easily manipulate the forecast figures, and it is difficult for the new audit team, means for the G and company, to identify the errors. Deadline. The assurance report needs to be completed as soon as possible because KoBold company has entered into a contract to commence building work in October 2005. Puts pressure on the audit team to complete the engagement. G and company should maintain professional skepticism before accepting this engagement. As it seems that the management wants us to work inefficiently. However, it can also result in large resources, as in order to complete the engagement efficiently and timely, means the time given by the KoBold company, G and company needs to hire senior and expert resources in large volume so that the engagement can be completed on time. This should be discussed with G and company regarding the cost incurred by the audit team as the size of the engagement increases. Also, a realistic time should be set by G and company for the deadline of the engagement. Now, matter number 7, fee. G and company should discuss the level of fee with KoBold company before accepting the engagement. As the nature and extent of the work increased, G and company required efficient resources for this engagement in order to meet the provided deadline. Therefore, G and company should discuss the fee with KoBold company based on the time of 4 months. How 4 months? As we are appoint or we are in a discussion for the appointment as on 1st July. So from 1st July till October, it's 4 months: July, August, September, and October. And the nature of the work of forecast associated assurance. Scope, matter number 8. G and company should discuss the scope of the work with KoBold company. G and company is only responsible for capital expenditure forecast and associated assurance. This is the scope, means how we have to perform our work and the boundary and the limitation. However, G and company will not be responsible for any other forecast prepared by the management, as it's mentioned in the case that the budgeted or cash flow forecast has been prepared by the financial controller and reported to the bank. This should further limit the liability of the auditors, as the report is present to the bank, which is also a stakeholder, means general person, general user. So the auditor has a liability in tort, general liability. Remember the lecture of block 1 on professional liability of an auditor. Now you can get the idea how important the previous knowledge is. If you have skipped any lecture or any block, then it is your loss, because every previous knowledge is linking in most of the past paper questions. 9, assurance level. Gnome and company should ensure that the level of engagement is clear. It should be understood by the management and the bank so that no miscommunication or expectation gap occurs against G and company. Further, the level of assurance is moderate, which is not a reasonable assurance, so that the bank and the management might not create an expectation gap that the report is free from any misstatement or errors, and we can rely completely on this report. That's why we have to give a proper assurance level before accepting this engagement in order to remove the expectation gap. Now, in the end, you have to give a conclusion. Gnome and company should accept this engagement as the new engagement brings more opportunities in terms of revenue and exposure to G and company. Also, there are no such issues that affect the integrity of the KoBold company except such on which G and company should maintain professional skepticism while performing the engagement. So this is for the Part A, evaluate the matters to be considered before accepting the KoBold company and the capital expenditure forecast. If you can see, I have write 10 paragraphs, 9 for the matters and 1 for the conclusion because the requirement and the marks were 10. So one matter carry 1 mark. That's why 10 paragraph for the 10 marks. If you don't want to add a conclusion, then you can see in the deadline, I have written down 2 paragraphs. So one paragraph for the 1 mark, and the one paragraph includes 3 to 4 lines. Line mean from the to company engagement, and if you can see there are 2 or 3 lines. So you have to write 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 lines for each paragraph. It will give you 1 mark. Okay. The main reason for the failure of the students at 45, 48, 49 means those who are failed in the 40s. The main reason is they skip the concepts. They didn't take the proper lectures or past paper practice. I am continuously repeating this thing. Don't skip the lectures. You have time. You have time. Still, you have 1.5 months. You can easily cover the lectures and their past paper practice. So don't waste time. Please be attentive and start practicing now. Still, you have time. Let's solve the part B, procedures. Procedures, whenever there is a question on procedures, please remember the CASP. C for the case specific, A for the actions, S for the source, P for the purpose. Let's write the procedures. Inspect the permission of the Land Development Authority. Inspect means to check. As the permission is there, now we have to inspect. Inspect the permission of the Land Development Authority to confirm the approval of the construction of the plant distribution channel. Cast the forecast. Cast the forecast assumption. Don't use the word review. Cast the forecast assumption used in the capital expenditure to ensure its arithmetical accuracy, means they are accurate or not. Discuss with KoBold company management regarding the required regulation for updated structural calculation and what is included in the calculation, means you have to take the idea, take the concept. Review the quotation report from the local contractor on a sample basis. Of course, you can't check the quotation report of all the local contractors. We perform on sample basis to confirm the accuracy of the figures used in the capital expenditure forecast. Review the completion certificates from the contractor to confirm the expected date of completion and the commencement date. Even though the management gave the commencement date as on 1st October, but we have to discuss it with the contractor because they are expert of their fields. Discuss with management regarding any further expenditures which are of a revenue nature. Review correspondence with the lawyer to confirm the basis of the legal fees and whether any legal fees against the KoBold company, legal case against the KoBold company in the past. Review the contract with the architect and surveyors to confirm their estimated fee of 15 million. Discuss with management regarding the possibility of a delay in the commencement of building work and the impact of the delay on prices included in capital expenditure. It means we have to discuss with management what if the prices have changed up, then how will you evaluate or implement its impact in your expenditure forecast. Review quotations of other capital expenditures to ensure the accuracy of the amounts included in the capital expenditure forecast. Compare the forecast figures with current year figures to confirm the accuracy of the change in the next 2 years. So this is for the part B, procedures on the capital expenditure. Now we are done with the day 2, question number 2, December 2022 KoBold Company past paper. Tomorrow we will solve the question number 3, which will be our day 3. I will divide it year-wise past papers into day-wise. In the day 1, we will solve question 1, then day 2, question 2, day 3, question 3. So in this sequence, we will cover all the past paper questions which are important. As there are so many past papers, but we will have to focus on the quality rather than quantity, because there is no point if we solve all the past paper questions and you guys don't practice. That's why we will solve from 2022 2025 attempts past paper. Now you can calculate how many past papers we will solve, as in 1 year there are 4 exams. So from 2020 till 2005 there are so many past paper questions. And if you want that I should solve more past papers like before 2020, then you have to watch my past paper lectures on topic wise, because in the topic wise playlist I have solved all the past paper questions. Let's say if I talk about the money laundering, I have solved December 12, December 11, June 16, December 15. So for the topic wise questions I have solved old past papers, but for the completed or full-fledged past paper questions, I will try to cover from the 2020 till 2025. Best wishes, take care, and do practice well.